vagas.com or InfoJobs. I understand that Facebook, or it's difficult for you to filter, fake news. So, and what is not nice about these other tools that should be improved? I think Catho should be for free, because it's like 7 working days and then they charge you. And in case you haven't found anything, they can extend it. Yeah, it's just, you just get 7 days for free. And then they charge you to use their services. How much, do you know? I don't know, because I have never paid. I don't remember how much, but they did charge me, yeah. Yeah, fake news. You just cannot filter fake news. There's no... Sometimes people share, the news, and it's fake, and they don't even care. They just share. And they know you're unemployed. They know you're looking for a job, and then they share with you, and they don't care whether it's fake or not. And what about you? No, I have never paid anything at Catho. And what about improvements? Yeah, it should be free, yeah. Okay, so for free, no fake news. What else? InfoJobs, it's, I have never paid either to use it, no. I don't know about fake news. Okay, do you have any suggestions, any ideas? If you could improve the application process, any suggestions? I'm sorry, I'm the only one speaking here, but yeah, I apologize. No problem. We are here to listen to you. I think they should give you feedback, as to why you were not hired, what happened, if it was because of your profile, but they don't give you any feedback. They just say, okay, the application process is completed or something. Or the number of openings, they should say, because we get anxious, we don't know how many people they are hiring. That's right, they don't give you any feedback. You bet everything on that, and you go for an interview and then you're not hired. Or there are 5 openings, but they send 30 people for interviews. You get anxious, and you just don't know what happens. It's like you apply and then they just say that your profile did not match, but you don't know why. You remain in the dark. So that's something that they should improve, feedback. Yes, you should be aware of what you're doing wrong. Or if the vacancy is for a 30-year-old and you are older, it's like you don't know why you're not chosen. And how do they inform you about an interview, for instance, by email? Yeah, they told me that I was participating and they told me about the place, the date. They called me. Yes, that's right. They called me as well. Yeah, my mobile. What else? Do you think they should come up with an easier way? No, I think that's fine. Yes, by phone or email, that's fine. Or a text message. Or sometimes you see you apply and they schedule an interview for the following day, but they should give you, more time. Yeah, because sometimes you apply and then you immediately get this message that the interview is tomorrow. No, I mean you need some time to plan. So they should schedule interviews like 3 days later or something. They should allow some time. In the beginning you mentioned age, that age can be a barrier, right? Why? Well, because there are young people joining the market, and they prefer to give them an opportunity. And why do you think that is? Maybe younger people are more dynamic, perhaps, I don't know. Yeah, but it depends, really. It depends on the person. What else? No, I don't think that's the reason why they do it. I just think that, if they are young, or there is this program called a Young Apprentice, and it's more feasible for companies to hire them. Also, they have like this quota for people with disabilities and foreigners, from Paraguay and other countries. Okay, that's fine. There are jobs for everyone, but the Young Apprentice is not registered. So, they won't be as expensive for the company as a registered employee. That's why companies prefer to hire these young apprentices or even interns, because they don't cost so much. That's why companies prioritize them. And because they are young, they don't expect to get paid so much. Yes, again, it's cheaper for the company to hire younger people. It's less expensive, It's and also, when you are working for a certain company and then you change jobs, you carry certain vices with you, from the previous job. Okay, what other obstacles would you say you have to face in addition to age? Education. Yes, education. Because I don't have a high school diploma, so it's an obstacle for me. Yeah. And also I have 3 children. In my last job, I did the night shift, and I didn't have much time to spend with my kids. So I think, yes, the problem is age and experience. I have a degree in business administration, You know, I never worked in my area because I had just got married and I had kids, and then I got divorced and I wanted to, you know, work in the area, but since I didn't have experience, it was hard. I had to start from scratch. So, you know, I couldn't like pursue a career. Yes, I think it's experience. Experience is the main barrier. Anything else? No? Any others? Oh, and I think distance also. If it is a position like, you know, in the other side of town, you have to consider, you know, commuting and all that. And they don't want to, they're not willing to pay for transportation. And how do you think the companies filter people? Like, how do they know about your age and all that? What about their filters? Well, they analyze our profile. And if they're interested, they contact you. And they consider everything, you see. And if you are eligible, then they call you. Does it make any difference to you whether it is a big company or a small one? No, it makes no difference. What would be the ideal salary, or, you know, should you be like registered or be like a freelancer? What would be ideal? Well, I used to work for a co-op, so it's different when it's a co-op. Yeah, you are a member of the co-op. Okay, you work and you get paid, but if you leave, you don't get any benefits, you know, that's it. It's similar to this new contract now that the government wants to enforce. Yeah, you don't get any benefits if you work for a co-op and you leave. Yeah, but depending on how long you work for the company, you know, if it's not a co-op, then you are entitled to getting some benefits. I don't know. Do you consider that before applying? Yes, I do. I don't. No, as long as I can pay my bills, that's fine. I don't care whether I'm registered or not. And what information do you need to mention? I mean, experience, I imagine. What else? What is the data that they need? Well, your address, your salaries, expectations. What else? No, but some companies don't ask that. It depends. Oh, education, yes. And experience. Anything else? Is there anything that you would like to include but is not there? Well, in vagas.com, it's optional for you to, write a letter, introducing yourself. And I think that's good because in this letter you can express yourself and your intentions and what you have done before. And do you usually do that or not? Sometimes. What about you? What do you think of that? Yes, that's good. I write this letter, because I think that helps. So in most cases I write it, really. But I don't really think it makes much of a difference because I never got a reply, when I wrote the letter, so... Oh, and the social security number, they ask you for that. And so they check whether you have any restrictions, if you have any issues, if you owe money, then that's an obstacle for you to be hired. So they check your social security number. Yeah, that's another barrier. Yes, depending on the company, really. Yeah, that could be one of the reasons for you not to be hired. And children also, yeah, if you have kids. Yeah, that's true. They do ask you if you have kids and how many. And why do you think that's a problem? Because when your kids get sick or something, you have to take the day off, that kind of thing. They worry about that. So you think women face more obstacles than men? Yes, I think so. Just because they are women, yes. Some openings, they really specify that it is for men, not women. I see that as an issue. Yes, that's true. It does happen. I just think that they prefer younger people because they are willing to get less money. Okay. And what about the social security number? Why do you think they don't hire you if you have any issues there? Well, because they don't want to get into trouble. I don't know. Anything else you can think of? Oh, yes, also they want to know whether you vote or not. They ask for your voter's card number because voting is mandatory in Brazil. So they want to know if you are compliant. Once it happened to me during the interview, I was asked about my voting card number. And the social security number, they asked me before the interview. And also my address. If you don't live in a good area, that's a problem. Yes, they ask for the zip code, your zip code. Because they want to know where you live. Do you think your address can be an obstacle? Oh yes, I'm certain of that. Yeah, big time. No, I think it's more because of the distance. No, they would never hire me if I lived in Heliopolis or Paraisópolis, like the slums. Or also, they want to know if you live close to like a subway station. But when do they ask you these questions? No, I think in the application process, yeah, even before the interview. And what would be your dream job, the ideal job? Well, a job in my area, logistics. And, if the company has a good policy and if it's ethical and innovative company, with new ideas. And if there are opportunities in the company, yes, a company that invests in you, that invests in training. Because companies should motivate the employees also. Companies that invest in your education. And why are these things important? Well, the more education you have, the better for the company. But it's difficult to find a company like that. They're not willing to spend money on you. They're cutting on their expenses. And I think word of mouth is important for you to get a job. So after you apply, right, how fast do they get back to you? Or how fast do they call you for an interview? A week later. Yeah, most time, yes. Usually a week later. And after the interview, how fast do they get back to you? Well, in my last job, they called me 2 months after the interview, actually, because I had to go through, other steps of the process. I had to talk to a psychologist, It took me like 2 months at least. And what do you think of that? I think that's good, actually. In my case, it was good because they wanted to make sure they were hiring the right person. So I thought that was fine. What else? What do you think about how fast they get back to you? In my last job, it took a week. I was going to work for a dentist, so the dentist herself contacted me a week later. So you said that sometimes you don't get any feedback, right? Or people don't even get back to you at all. They don't say anything. Can you tell me more about it? Well, you see, you are unemployed. You expect a reply, even if it's a negative one. And how should you get that? Should it be an email or a message or a message? With what information exactly? I don't know. We regret to inform you you have not been selected. Something like that. apologizing for not hiring you. I don't know. I have applied, or I usually apply for so many jobs, I don't even know which is which, really. So, but oftentimes it's like this: oh, your profile has not been approved, but we're going to keep your data here, good luck. Or, you see, like, I don't even know, I don't even remember, because I usually apply for like so many jobs. So I really have to read it carefully to remember which one it is, because, it's like so many, I don't even remember. Oh yeah, I do that on a daily basis. I apply on a daily basis. Okay, so have a look at this. We're going to do an activity together now. Okay, so what is the most important information for you when you are applying for a job? Should I circle it or should I rank it? No, first just the important ones. Okay, so what have you circled? Yes, go ahead. Salary first. And then location. Why is that important? Well, because if the salary is not compatible, it's pointless. It's not worth it anyway. Location also is important. Because, you see, they pay for transportation, but it's that they paid for just one fare. And if you have to take more than one bus, or then, you have to pay, because they pay for just one fare. And I think the hours also are important. Yeah, the time you clock in and you clock out. Okay, and what is ideal? From 8 to 5 is ideal, yeah. So, yeah, the working hours, or full time. Full time is important for me. and also depending on the location. Yes, it's good for me so that I can go to university later on for my graduation. And salary. It's okay if you have flexible hours, but what if the salary is not good? Location is also important, yeah. And for you? First is location, because I live far, I live out of town.